report the news that nobody has the balls to report.
Why am I the only one breaking stories like this? You can call me Uncle Turtleboy, Clarence, Aidan. I don't care what you call me.
Did you not say that you were going to take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby?
I think they don't like the things that I'm saying and they want me to stop saying them, but I'm not. I'm never going to stop. Now, these are the kind of stories, guys, that must be told. I'm just a guy who's breaking stories and reporting news from my basement.
Hello, Turtle Riders. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the live show. That's going to annoy me if I don't get rid of this little thing on my arm there. Let me just adjust that. Go this way. No, I'll go this way. Find a nice balance. Okay, that's good enough. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host. They call me Uncle Turtleboy around these parts. But you can call me whatever you want, really. Daddy, I prefer, or Dr. Turtleboy, or some people call me Clarence, or my real name's Aidan. You can call me that, or just Turtleboy or Turts, whatever you want to call me. It doesn't really matter to me. All I really care about is just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. for the live show, because we do this twice a week. We recap the stories of the week. If you're new here, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We've gained a lot of subscribers recently. We're up to almost 25,200. We're just a couple people away from that. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell, because we do a lot of impromptu lives. You never know when we're going to do one. I'm definitely going to be making a trip to Newton to the Fucci sometime in the near future. So you might want to hit that notification bell, because I will be going live when I in fact do that. So also give us a big thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Those really help with the algorithms, and leave a comment afterwards. A lot of comments in the live chat, but let's get some comments in the video afterwards. It helps with the algorithm. Share your thoughts, your feedback on the show. That really helps. We like to hear from you people about what you like, what you didn't like, what we can improve, whatever. But yeah, so there's that. Okay. If you guys like the show also, and you would like to contribute, you can't, because we don't have super chat. You might notice. Now that's because we participated in wrongthink. We had the wrong opinions about last August, President Biden's climax mandate, the vaccine, I guess we'll just call it. And I had the wrong opinion on that. I guess I wasn't allowed to believe that the government isn't allowed to yell at you and force you to put something in your body if you don't want it. But they took away your ability there to give us money, because I guess you're bad too. I don't know. So we just went ahead and we built our own super chat. It's called Turtle Chat. If you click at the link at the top of this stream in the comments, that'll take you to a page. You can donate whatever amount of money you want, and you get to write a little message when you do that. I will get an email notification, and I will read your message out loud during the show. So it acts just like a super chat does in that essence, except Google isn't taking 40% like they do on YouTube. So that's pretty cool. And you can also donate by hitting up my Cash App at $ Uncle Turtleboy. I'll get a notification when that happens, and I'll read it out loud to the class. So there's that. Go ahead and like all our socials too. At Dr. Turtleboy, DOCTOR Turtleboy, because if Jill Biden's a doctor, then I'm definitely a doctor. That's my handle on Twitter. On Facebook, I am at Clarence Woods Emerson. Join the fun over there. You can also follow the Turtleboy page, which is getting close to 10,000 followers already. We just had to start that one up after losing yet another page with 40,000 followers. But that's cool. We don't rebuild, we reload. We're on Instagram at Turtleboy_daily_news. Subscribe everywhere. Sign up to get emails. Doesn't matter. Just read Turtleboy every day. I promise the app is coming out real soon. I got a notification from my web developer today. It was approved by Apple Store and Google Play, so it will be available in those stores shortly, the app. So I will make an announcement when that's ready to download. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump right into the stories. The stories we're gonna cover tonight. The theme. I had a great time talking about Mike Fucci the other night, and as you guys saw, we had another part 5 coming today. I'm gonna have the last one coming sometime this week, part 6. I didn't think this was gonna be a multi-part series. I thought I was just gonna write a one and done, but the more I find out about this guy, every day it gets worse, every freaking day. So we need to discuss that a little bit. It's wildly entertaining. And we're going to read some of the feedback from the people in Needham. Some people who are more appreciative of this than others, and some people who are just cunts. Like, let's just call it what it is. These people are miserable. We'll get to some of them. So the theme for tonight, we're going to cover that part of the Fucci thing and the Worcester superintendent thing, because they're similar in that both people lied or misrepresented who they were in order to get the job that they wanted to get. So we're going to start with the situation in Worcester right now. So let me bring up this blog over here. And right now, I swear to God, I haven't had my eyes checked in like probably 4 years. So I've been using old contacts. So I definitely am having trouble seeing. I got to go to the doctor tomorrow to do that. So if I like squint looking at the freaking thing, it's because my eyes are like broken. So, okay, let's pull up the screen. All right. Nope, wrong one. I'm going to start with the other one. We'll get to Fucci. Fucci mama. All right. Okie dokie. So here's a situation in my hometown of Worcester. Now, old school Turtle Riders. It's kind of funny. Most of you probably weren't reading the blog in 2014 and 2015 when I was first getting started. So I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts, born and raised here. And the blog, when it was created, was, I wasn't born here, just so in case that gets clipped. I was actually born. We moved here when I was 5. So my whole memory of life is basically Worcester. But anyway, when I first started the blog, I would write a lot about Worcester politics. And that was not my goal. It was just like there was a lot of protesting going on with Michael Brown at the time. And like major streets in Worcester were blocked. And so that interested me. And I started calling these people out on it, and people caught on to it, and people liked that. Turns out that was popular. And then there was this guy named Mike Gaffney on the city council who kind of jumped on the Turtleboy train, and I almost made him mayor. And then he turned out to be a psychopath, and he sued me, and now he's on Team Storm. Long story. But basically, in the first couple of years of Turtleboy, it was very Worcester centric. I don't really do that anymore. I feel like I've outgrown Worcester a little bit. Because most of you are not from Worcester, but so you probably have no interest in the city council and all that shit. It's more of a Boston centric blog now. Let's be honest. But anyway, sometimes shit happens in Worcester still that catches my attention, and it did this week. So this woman's name is Rachel Monarrez. She is the new superintendent of the Worcester Public Schools. Now, they had a superintendent before, and her name was Maureen Benenda. And Maureen Benenda was my high school principal at South High School in Worcester. South High School, for those of you unfamiliar, is one of the most urban high schools in the state. Like, there weren't many kids at South High who looked like me. Let me just put it that way. Or who spoke my language. And so I was really introduced to like a very diverse world from early on. And Maureen Benenda has worked in this diverse world her entire life. She's a teacher before she was a principal. And then she became the superintendent. And I think in like 2016, everybody likes this lady. She's extremely popular with Worcester people. And that is exactly why the woke people went after her, was because she was just focused on, reading, writing, the basics of being a superintendent. Like making sure that the buses moved, and that like she wasn't into the woke shit. I don't ever recall her having her pronouns in her bio or anything like that. She wasn't necessarily anti-woke, but that's not good enough with these people. They want aggressively woke. They want superintendents who are going to push the DEI agenda in school. They want people who are going to have the pronouns in the bio. They want all that stuff. And Maureen Benenda never did that. So she was criticized and said, you don't care about people of color, and you don't blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, the woman's dedicated her whole life to people of color. It's just so stupid. Anyway, so they didn't like her. And so like what progressives like with public schools is national searches. Like that's the big thing. If you ever have a superintendent search in your district, you want it to be as local as possible. And I'll tell you why. Because you want somebody who knows your community. You want somebody who understands, like knows the players, and it doesn't have to get introduced to a whole new city and a culture. Like it varies from place to place, right? Like if you go from being a superintendent in California or Texas or something like that, or Florida, and then you move to Worcester, Massachusetts, and you don't know anything about Worcester, it's like you have a lot of catching up to do. And I don't like that. I like somebody who knows the system, but progressives don't like that because they consider it towny, right? They consider it's like, oh, the good old boy network. You're just all these people, and they consider it racist too, because it's basically, they view it as like white people appointing their white friends to shit and systemic racism and all this stuff. And so they want to do a national search for a doctor. Maureen Benenda was not a doctor. She didn't have a PhD. They like somebody who has a PhD. They can't save your life or anything like that, but they can write, explain to you in 50,000 words why you have to use the pronouns that they tell you to do. So that's what doctors do nowadays. They're Jill Bidens of the world. They're not real doctors, but they call themselves that. That's what this woman was. So they do a national search and they pay for it, and she ends up getting hired. And so the four candidates it was 3 black people and her. And she was presented, and so it was like, oh, woke, so no white people, so it's good. This is progress. There's no white people. White people suck, right? Let's get rid of them. And this represents progress, the lack of white people. But none of them were from around here. 2 of them were from Boston. One of them was from Philadelphia, and this woman's from California. But one of them was like a DEI specialist. They were all doctors, and it was all stupid. I'm like, okay, I see no matter who they pick, they're going to be terrible. You know it. So they picked this woman, and she's the Latina. This is how she's billed to the people, as like Latina, Latinx as they call it. And this is a comment. This is from just one of the typical media publications about her hiring. It says, he also said, this is the NAACP saying this. He also said he's happy about the removal of school resource officers from public schools, as well as the naming of the first Latino superintendent for Worcester Public Schools and interim city manager. So that's good. She's Hispanic, Espanol. Worcester has like 47% of our public schools are Hispanic. I mean, it's good if you speak Spanish, obviously, but it shouldn't be a prerequisite. But whatever, she could speak it, and they like it, and so they bring her in, and she gets hired, and she does an interview with Harriet Chandler, the former state senate president, who is the worst and most dangerous driver in Massachusetts. I shit you not. Go read some of the blogs we did on Harriet Chandler parking jobs. This woman was a freaking menace to society, and she needs to never be allowed behind the wheel of a car ever again. It's just that simple. But I digress. Now she does a show here, and she interviews this woman about her background. Now, this took place in December, and I just became aware of it. And somebody sent this to me. I'm like, this is gold. This is gold. Let me play it for you.
There's no question in my mind. So Spanish I didn't grow up speaking Spanish. I actually learned it in school.
Really?
What?
Learned it in school and just had a deep
But you're from
desire
a Spanish-speaking background.
Yeah, so my background is very unique.
Okay, tell us.
I'll tell you as quickly as I can, because it's like a 5-hour conversation sometimes, but I'm adopted. I was adopted at birth. So I was raised by an Anglo family.
Oh,
So Spanish was not spoken in the home. And but when you live in Southern California and Los Angeles, but most specifically for me, there's a lot. I mean, Spanish is everywhere, right?
Right.
And
so she was raised by an Anglo family. That's code for white. So her parents were white, but they're not her birth parents. So, but she's like, I grew up in Southern California, and everyone in Southern California spoke Spanish pretty much. So what does it matter? I'm basically Spanish anyway, right? She goes on.
Was something I wanted to learn. I started taking it in what was called junior high then, through high school, and took courses in college. And then I waited tables for years as going to college. And so there was a lot of Spanish spoken in the restaurant, and I learned it and I practiced it. And then with time, during parent conferences, my Spanish would get really good because I was speaking
right
all the time, right?
What?
And so my husband is from Mexico. Now we don't.
Oh, her husband is from Mexico. So her last name is Monarrez. I don't know what her maiden name is. Probably something very white. Probably doesn't end in the EZ, I'm guessing. But so her husband's Mexican. Now, just to be clear, that doesn't actually make you Mexican. Kim Kardashian can bang all the black guys she wants. She's still white at the end of the day. That's just to be clear. Just because you slept with somebody of a different ethnicity or race does not make you a member of that race. Just to be clear on that one. Your kids will be, but you will not.
Speak Spanish as much in the home, but I listen to Spanish music. I'll watch television in Spanish. So it's definitely something I have immersed myself into. Ethnicity wise, I am a mix.
Okay.
So I was, as I said, raised by an Anglo family. Just recently, in the last 3 years,
Okay.
learned about 3
About
years
your
ago.
background.
Learned about my background. So
Your
I'm
birth mother.
my birth mother, my birth father. So on my birth mother's side, I am a mix of Russian, a little bit of I think North, like English and English for sure.
Okay. So her mother's Russian. So Russian, just to be clear, is white. They count as white in Russia. We're not, definitely not Latino. Definitely not.
And then Ashkenazi Jewish
Okay.
on my mother's side.
So she's
And then on
Jewish.
my father's side,
Okay, here we go.
Sephardic Jewish and Colombian. And
Okay, so listen to this. So you heard that part. This is what some of the social justice warriors saying. She said Colombian, Sephardic, Jewish, and Colombian. But then listen to this.
Middle Eastern, most specifically, I believe, from Syria. Middle Eastern, Sephardic Jewish and Colombian, and Middle Eastern, most specifically, I believe, from Syria.
And Middle Eastern. So she claims that her birth father is some part Colombian. And this is what they're hanging on to now. Like she said, oh, it's part Colombian. What? So and by the way, when she was running and establishing herself as like the first Latina, whatever, like she didn't know any of this. She said she just recently found this out. So she's like Syrian, but that's like, they're Syrian. So Colombian. Okay, sure. So that makes you Latina because your birth father, who you've never met, is allegedly like a fraction of this. So basically you're Elizabeth Warren. You're 1/1024th. You can hear static interference. Let me move the phones. Let me know if it still acts up. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay, let me play some more.
That is very interesting.
It's very interesting, right? And then on top of that, I was not raised Jewish. And so I am a converted Catholic.
Converted Catholic? You are Catholic. Okay. So she's just a white girl. Like that's all it comes down to. But she can say whatever she wants. She has clearly been passing herself off as Espanol. Like, look at her freaking thing. Of course, she has PhD in her name. And with the pronouns she, her, Ella. She, her, Ella. So why would you add Ella to that? Obviously, you're trying to push the whole I am Latina. She's a superintendent, child and educator advocate, dedicated to excellence, equity, and social justice. Not like, notice she's not dedicated to like child development or, getting kids into college or high achievement or anything like that. No, that's not what's hot because that's not equity. She's down with like, you have to write this. Like, how do you sum yourself up in 3 sentences? Well, equity. You just have to put equity and social justice in there. Of course you do. Anyway, like this is San Bernardino Schools wrote, congratulations to our very own assistant superintendent of continuous improvement. What the hell does that mean? There's so many useless jobs in education for being recognized as the Office Administrator of the Year for her contributions to eliminating the Latina OX student achievement gap. So she whatever that means. So she closed that gap. Good for her. Dr. Monarrez introducing Dr. Grogan and her amazing research on women in leadership at the Latina Leadership Network. This is in 2017. This picture was taken. So that was before she knew who her birth parents were, because she said she found them in the last 3 years. So this whole, her father's, she said her dad's fraction Colombia. She didn't know that in 2017. And she's masquerading as some sort of Latina leadership person. Okay. 4 powerful Latina leaders of key educational leadership organizations. Oh, that's okay. Look at me. I'm Latina. Or how about this one? Another doctor, doctor from Chelsea, one of the most failing school districts in the state, writes, when the Latina superintendents find each other at a meeting, except it looks like two white people. Like, let's be perfectly honest about that. Like, that counts as Latina? Yeah, sure it does. Anyway, so first of all, I'd like to point out, imagine if two white people found each other like that and we're like, hey, I found a white person. White pride. Yeah. White pride. White power. She actually wrote Latina power. Latina. So she didn't be like, no, I'm not actually Latina. She actually wrote Latina power. You're not Latina. You're not. You're a white woman. That's all you are. That's all you've ever been. That's all you ever will be. You married a Mexican guy because you live in Los Angeles. So of course you did. And your Spanish sucks. It sounds like, listen to her talk here. This is her welcome video to Worcester. I'm going to fast forward to the part where they talk in Spanish.
Amplify those strengths and look for opportunities for improvement. So all children thrive academically and emotionally.
¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre?
First of all, this is still the United States of America. Like, I have no problem if you speak in Spanish. Can you translate it, please? Can we get a subtitle? Can we get a what did she ask there? Because it's just like if you don't speak Spanish, you're just left out of the conversation. So you don't even know what this woman's about. Okay. So listen to her speak Spanish, though.
Pues me encanta viajar. Como familia, nos gusta visitar otros países y sabemos que ahora podemos visitar diferentes áreas de Nueva Inglaterra y otros países cerca de aquí.
What do you enjoy most about being an educator?
Okay, so we're going to rewind that, and I'll show you how the correct way to say it in Spanish is. This is how... That's the white woman way of saying it. Like, it sounds like I didn't... So I took 5 years of French, and it was like a running joke in my class because I didn't know shit. I could just say je joue au tennis, and I would say everything in like the most American accent because I can't fake a French accent. I could try, but it didn't come naturally. So je joue au tennis, or je m'appelle Aidan. Comment t'appelles tu? Comment t'appelles tu? Oui, je joue au tennis. That's all I could say. I play tennis. I je joue au tennis. I don't know. And so that's how white people talk when they speak a different language, just like her. That's white people Spanish talk you just heard right there. Even AOC can fake it, and she's just as white as you are, but maybe she might be slightly more Hispanic, but basically for all intents and purposes, the same thing. Let's play this again.
Pues me encanta viajar como familia.
So you got to roll that. Familia! You got to roll it, baby. That's not how they say it.
Gusta visitar otros países y sabemos que ahora.
Okay, listen to that. Que ahora? That's how I would. Que ahora? You got to roll your eyes. That's how you got to say it. You got to make it sound natural. Que ahora? No.
Podemos visitar diferentes áreas de Nueva Inglaterra y otros países cerca de aquí.
That's so bad. So that's just bad. That's not how you do it. I'm buffering. Is it bad? You got to roll that tongue. I can't do it. You just got to hawk up a lungi or something. What did she say? Bitch said Aurora. Anyway, so that's that's her. Like, listen to AOC say Latinos. Listen to what she says there.
And now that you talk about race, what do you think the Latinx community should do to stop racism among them and among other races?
Yeah, well, the first thing that's so important is for us to talk about racism within our community and how we are both impacted by racism in the United States and across the world, but also how it exists within our own communities. And, a lot of times I'll hear people say, okay, this is about Black Lives Matter. What about Latinos? And I always say Latinos are Black.
Like, Latinos. Like, that's how you fake it. She does not talk like that. Latinos. That's why I thought of Latinos. Okay, first of all, this whole race thing is ridiculous. I will say, like, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Gender is in the spectrum, but race is. We're all different shades of something. None of us are, like, my kids are a slightly different shade of white than I am, or peach, or whatever the hell you want to call my skin color, right? And like, who's darker, Indians or Venezuelans? Who's darker? I don't know. And Hispanics, like, they come in all different. I mean, go to Brazil; it's a rainbow of different color people. The Asian countries are really the ones that are more uniform and not having a lot of diversity of skin color or whatever. So it's just like, we're all different. And they're just so obsessed with, like, it's like either one or the other. Either you're black or you're not. Like, but Latinos are black. Are they? I don't think they are. But whatever. Okay, it's all the same shit. Doesn't matter. Who cares? You guys are the ones that are obsessed with it. Now listen to this Spanish accent. This was great.
All right, listen. Okay, listen.
What? Listen. Okay. Is there anything more offensive than that? You're white, girl. You're white, Sandy. Anyway, the kids asked her at the 45. So I actually, unfortunately, watched this whole school committee meeting. The Worcester School Committee is just unbearable. It's 5 women and 1 man. And there are just some absolute radicals on there. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And that's how you get people like this making superintendent. And they have some student representative that asks her a question. And of course, they don't ask her about, like, school or anything. They ask about, like, what will you do to teach kids who don't look like you? Because that's all that we were told that matters now is, like, what do you look like? Your phenotype is all that matters. How smart you are or how good your grades are. Those does not really matter that much. So just learn about your phenotype. Yeah. Okay. So let's play what she says to this answer.
Welcome everybody to the Worcester School Committee.
And this is our idiot mayor, with Joe Putty.
Pledge allegiance, followed by the national anthem.
Okay, Putty. All right.
When you're in your 20s, as a people who didn't look. And so that's why I went into education. In terms of working with families or children that don't look like me or don't speak my language, I shared last night that I'm an adopted child. I was adopted at birth. And so I spent my whole life around people who didn't look like me. And so
time out right there. I'm an adopted child, so I spent my whole life being around people who didn't look like me. So what does that imply? That implies, right, that she's Hispanic and she was adopted by white parents, right? We all agree with that. That is the implication that she's trying to do. So she's not flat out lying and saying, I am Latina, but she's clearly implying it. Is she not? Like, I was adopted by people who don't look like me because they're white. That's what she's trying to say there. And that's dishonest. You're lying. I mean, dishonest, it's a form of lying.
So it's what I know. It's kind of all I know. Just recently, I have found my birth family. And so for the first time, I take pictures with people and I kind of match. But that's 50 years later in my life.
So I kind of match, AKA they're Hispanic, right? I found them. I look like them. So it's okay. So that's clearly this is her interview. And so she got the job after this. And this blog has gone viral on Twitter, like almost 1,000 times. It's been, I think, retweeted, something like that, and shared, like, and which is large for a blog about Worcester, because the headline is funny. It's like Worcester prided itself in hiring the first Latino to the school committee. They wanted to get rid of, or to be the superintendent. They wanted to get rid of the old white superintendent. So they fired her, paid all this money for a national search, and then hired a white woman, essentially. Not essentially, literally. It literally is what they did. So, it just, I've said it before and I'll say it again. All these people talking about white privilege. It's like, how many examples do you need to see of people who lie about not being white in order to get ahead in whatever world that they're in? It completely debunks this idea of privilege. If there was white privilege, then everyone would be lying about being white instead of lying about their denial of being white, which is what she's doing. Because there's nothing to gain from being white. There's literally nothing to gain from it. There's only to lose. because of equity. And the whole idea of equity is that we don't have enough people of color who are in higher positions. Well, except for Asians, they don't count. But every other color, there's not enough of them. And so we need to uplift them. We need to basically give them things in order to help them become all equal. Like that's what they want. And so it's infantilizing people of color. That's all it is. So it just proves once again, I mean, Rachel Dolezal, Elizabeth Warren, like they all lied. Nobody lies about being white. I've yet to see a candidate come out there and try to get elected to office, like a person of color who's like denies that they're black and is like, actually, I'm white. It's never happened, but it happens the other way frequently. And because they're incentivized to do so, it's just a fact. So, okay, let me read a couple comments here, a couple turtle chats. We got one from Sexy Susie. She says, as an Irish, Norman, Polish, Catholic Jew who speaks Polish, I endorse this blogger. Well, thank you very much, Sexy Susan. I appreciate that. We also have a Cash App here from Rod O'Byrne. Oh, he sent this the other night. He said $10 for a great show. I appreciate that, Rod. And we also got one from Semolina. It's a new one, sends $15. Says for the live show. I appreciate that, Semolina. If anyone else would like to contribute, you can click on the link at the top of the stream at the comment section. Donate whatever amount of money you want and write a message. I'll get it in my email and I will read it out loud to the class. So there is that. And I'm also a Cash App at $ Uncle Turtleboy if you're interested in doing it that way. Okie dokie. So let's go on to Chef Mike, shall we? Okay. Part 5. This douchebag. Yikes. And by the way, remind me at the end of the show here. I got my emails back. I requested 2 stories I want to tell you. I'm going to write them down. Okay. So I requested every email ever sent to or from Julia Mejia, the city councilor from Boston who's suing me. That included the words Aidan with an E, my last name, Kearney, or Turtleboy. Any of those words come up, I want them back. I got back 800 pages worth of shit. Now, it's because there's so many emails that came back. Now, I didn't get everything I was looking for, and they're not all about me. It turns out a lot of people named Aidan have emailed her before. It's weird. Like there's a lot of people named Aidan, like dozens of them who have emailed this one before. And they all emailed her about defunding the police. We're going to see. So I got those emails. And also I got a call today from somebody on the Wachusett Regional School Committee, who that's my hometown, obviously my home district. And they alerted me that they got an email from the storm. So the storm has sent an email to the entire Wachusett Regional School Committee, and I am going to be getting a hold of that. So anyway, so let's I'll hit at that stuff up at the end. Let's talk about this. Okie dokie. So where were we? All right. So Mike Fucci obviously built his brand as a celebrity chef and used it to scam a lot of people over the years. But his new thing, a lot of people don't know about, is the coins. Now, I know you guys remember that doctor in Florida he was going to see. I found out through sources that he met that guy through coin collecting, which makes me think that he was going down there to scam the poor guy. And I hope he was saved from that gentleman. The guy's a nurse practitioner and probably thought he was helping Mike out or whatever. The guy was having a hard time. Why wouldn't you take his word for it? Who would lie about this shit? But it was all just a lie. Anyway. And he goes, yes, the second. So you mean the second? And so like, look at the comments about the coin collecting on TikTok. My son, Curtis Richards, age 16, bought a $275 coin from you for this benefit auction, and you never produced it. You won't give me money back. Help. So he stole $275 from some kid who's interested in coin collecting. Good job. Good job. Dude is a complete scammer. Yeah, no shit. Somebody says, I purchased a quarter low leaf. Have not heard back anything yet. He has a business in Boston area, I think. He's on Google. Google the attorney general for his state. He blew me off again. I plan to go to the AG. Extra, when he plays oboe charity. What does that mean? I don't know. Did you purchase something too? Somebody says he just replied to me. He plans to mail out next week or refund. There is a holdup. Hopefully he gets to you soon. He's a fucking scammer. He said the same. So real quick, Mike is back on, he just reactivated his Facebook account. Let me see if it's still up. It was up half an hour ago. Let me see. Okay. He's back. So I'm going to go. Oh, can I not message him? Hold on. I don't see the option to message on his page. So I'm going to look for it right now. Hold on one sec. Fucci. I'm going to call him because once you've messaged before, you can call the person. Come on, answer. Oh, he's not answering. Ah, okay. Yo. All right. So I'm going to post, if you guys want to go over to his page and share your thoughts with them, tell him to come on the live show. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post a link to his Facebook page in the comments section. Feel free to, respectfully offer him an invitation to come play. By the way, I see 242 people in the chat. I see 82 likes, folks. Let's hit that thumbs up. Can we get that up to 100, please? Let's go, baby. Anyway, so this guy was a chef. This blog talks about how Mike Fucci kind of became who he is today. And it began, so he never has had a job as a cook. Most of these famous cooks, they've been cooks at big restaurants. They've worked, because working in a restaurant is very different, let's be honest, than being a caterer. Being a caterer, you have unlimited time. Well, not unlimited, but you know what I mean? You're not under pressure. You're working from a kitchen somewhere. It doesn't have to get out right away. The customers aren't complaining. Like, it's a lot less stressful with less pressure if you are doing that. So this guy has worked, as we're going to see, all of 3 days in a kitchen, a real kitchen at a restaurant. And he made a name for himself, if you can call it that, with these YouTube videos. Let's see, the Independent Diner. Okay, so this is his YouTube videos. Let's see. Tilapia.
Welcome back to another edition of the Independent Diner Cooking Show. I'm Mike Fucci, the Independent Diner.
Oh, God.
Tonight I got something special for you.
Oh, please no.
Tonight's going to be a tilapia and a beautiful mango salsa.
Oh, God.
To start with, we have mangoes, cilantro, fresh, chop it yourself. Don't get anything out of a tube and don't get anything out of a bottle. Cherry tomatoes, green and red peppers, bell. And then we have even more delicious once it comes out of the pan. I'm going to put that aside for over here, make the space.
Okay. So he's going to cook. Go over to his
cover.
Gas stove.
The cover over here. It's going to go, like I said, 2.5 to 3 minutes per side. It's actually a little thicker than a normal piece of tilapia. Where I got it from was really good. I actually shopped for it at the local market here, the Stop and Shop down the street. If you go to your local Stop and Shop, some of them have really good seafood sections and really good meat sections.
Okay, so this is how he tried to make a name for himself. He would do stuff like that all the time. And unfortunately, it didn't really catch on. He tried to be the whole the cook with the personality thing. Like, I'm a big fat bastard funny guy. Like, that's his whole thing that he's going for. I say, sometimes I swear, sometimes I speak off the cuff. But I got my chili peppers over here, and sometimes I talk shit, and if you get lippy with me, I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. That's Chef Mike Fucci. That's my brand. That's how I do. And so he tries to sell this to the Food Network. He sends in countless audition tapes to them. They never get back to him. It doesn't really go anywhere. So he creates this Twitter account called @FoodIndulgence. I believe it's still up, unless he's taken it down since the blog was written. No, it's still up. Okay. And he goes here hi, everyone, please take a minute and follow my professional page that's proof right there that it is indeed him. That's his professional page. And if I just search for fuck and cunt on there, just in case it wasn't clear that it wasn't him, good luck. Go fuck off to sleep, you welfare cunt. This from a guy who's never had a job. You're stupid. He just gets in fights with people. That's all this guy knows how to do. He complains about FanDuel, gambling not going well enough. Oh, and then he talks to @V Gunvalves. I think this is one of the This was one of the Real Housewives of something. He's obsessed with the Real Housewives shows, which is hilarious that a grown man with listen to the Real Housewives reality shows. Like, dude, those are chick shows, but hey, teach their own. You are so full of shit, he tells this woman. Your daughter was never a priority while Brooks was around. You look like an ass saying she was. I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's just such a boomer move to think that like this woman with like like this celebrity is going to see you or care what you have to say. He's like really mad about it. He's like, I'm going to tweet at her. Then she'll read this. Then I'll be really shit. Then I'll really give her a piece of my mind. Then she'll think twice about ever appearing on the Real Housewives. That fucking scum cunt. She can go pound sand, you know? And by the way, the irony here of somebody, your daughter was never a priority. Like, dude, you have a son you abandoned. I know it's before he was born, but not only did you abandon your son, the most fucked up part about that story, as we've seen, was that the baby was his idea. The woman was past the age where she thought she could conceive. And he's like, no, we're going to have a baby anyway. He was married. And he told this woman, we're going to have a baby. We're going to start a life together. I'm worth $28 million. I'm going to buy us a $1.7 million house in Linfield. Except the problem is the house wasn't even for sale. And he tried to convince what he said was going to be his mother-in-law to quit her job and be their nanny. And knowing the whole time he had zero intention of being with her, leaving his wife, Jennifer Fucci, that evil woman. That woman is worse than Giselle Fetterman and Jill Biden. Like, she is the worst woman on the planet. The more I think about that, the more I hate that woman. Like, she is, and she's going to be the target of this, not him. I've decided. Because what does he have to lose? He's got no job. I've destroyed his reputation. She works a 6-figure job, as we're going to see in her LinkedIn. I'll just go to her LinkedIn right now. Because again, this is the woman enabling all this. She knows who she's married to. She's aware that this guy's a scammer and that he's got a baby that he abandoned. I was told through sources that she told him, you cannot father that baby. You can't be in that baby's life. Because I'm sorry. If ladies, if your husband knocks up someone else, it's perfectly fine to be like, see ya, we're getting divorced, whatever. Okay. It is not okay to say you can't father that baby, because it is what it is. Like, yeah, it's why? So he can stay with you and you can pretend things are fine. He's got a baby with somebody else. That baby needs someone. That baby's needs are more important than your feelings. They are. So he needs to go take care of that baby, and he's not doing that. She does sound like Lorena Callie. That's a good way to put it there, Heidi. So let me bring up the wife's LinkedIn, Jennifer Fucci's. Like, she has a job. Of course, she's got the equity background there. Talent acquisition consultant at I'm going to screenshot that. I think I screenshotted already. Talent acquisition consultant at Insulet Corporation. Okay. What else we got here? Activity. Let's see. Oh, so it's what does she do for Insulet? Insulet Corporations is an innovative medical device company dedicated to making the lives of people with diabetes and other conditions easier through the use of its Omnipod production platform. Omnipod provides a unique alternative to traditional insulin delivery methods with its simple, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So she does something for them. She's a talent acquisition consultant. Obviously, this is like a real job, so she's not a moocher. Like, she's a real citizen, and she has a lot to lose. So Jennifer, call me, because Mike's not going to go down. You're going to go down, because as we can see, you're involved in this heavily. We're going to see more about you in part 6. Trust and believe on that one. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so whoever Bethany is, all due respect, I used to think you were a good person. Last few episodes, you are an asshole. Getting annoying. Very dismissive. I think that's a housewife too. Kris Jenner, great parenting. You have finally whored out the last of your kids. You're a money-hungry douchebag. Shitbag parent award. Too funny. Too funny. Anyway, he also used the account to promote a GoFundMe. Even though he claimed his cancer scam was the first time he ever had a GoFundMe, he said it was to raise money for his upcoming cookbook. So right away, like if you're going to start a book, if you're going to write a for-profit book that you're trying to sell, you don't raise money for it. I mean, you could get investors, I suppose, but investors get paid back. He's asking for free donations to cover the cost of making this book that he's planning on selling for a profit. So where's the risk, right? If people are paying you money for the labor of making the book, then you just get the profits. What kind of, that's not what GoFundMe's are for. So he asked various media outlets to retweet his GoFundMe and said that all the money raised from his book would be used to feed the homeless, he said, whatever that means. Homeless vets. He later made up the lie that $2 for every book sale will go to the Jimmy Fund to help fight children with cancer. Help children with cancer fight it. He even tagged the Jimmy Fund in the hopes that they would retweet him, but they didn't. So again, this is not the first time this guy has used cancer to pull on people's heartstrings and financially benefit himself. That is the purpose of this. Obviously, no money is going to the Jimmy Fund. Certainly no money's going to homeless vets, whatever that means, as if there's just like a homeless vet fund. And you just put it in the pot and then the homeless vet gets it. First of all, a lot of these homeless vets, they're drug addicts, right? What does that mean? You're just going to give them thing? What? You're not helping shit. You're not doing anything like that. You're just he knows he can't sell this book on his own because no one's going to buy it because no one gives a shit about him unless he makes it about something else. And that's a lie. So he asks all these media outlets to sell it, the pre-sale copy, the pre-sale. And it said he was trying to raise $1,500. It didn't say what he sold or how much he raised, but the book was on Amazon. So there are no costs because I published a book on Amazon. As you know, I am Turtleboy. Check it out on Amazon. It's got great ratings. And it didn't cost me shit to write. It didn't cost me a dime except time. I mean, time is money, right? So obviously I invested months writing that book, but it didn't cost me anything. You just write the book, then you put it in a PDF and you submit it to Amazon and they publish it. And when people order, they print it for you and they send it to you. I don't touch the book unless I order a book myself. So it's really costs you nothing to have a book published on Amazon. So why do you need money for? What did this go towards? You didn't do it. So this is what the GoFundMe says. It says, "Hi friends, I'm Chef Mike. I started this page so that I start the pre-sale of my new cookbook. Here is how it works. Pre-sale price is $20 per copy. With your purchase, you get a autographed copy of my new cookbook." As if anyone wants your autograph. "The price is reduced from the regular sales price because you are buying a pre-sale. Price covers all shipping costs." Okay, so who would ever pay $25 for a cookbook from this loser? "The reason for this pre-sale is to give me an idea on how many copies I need to order from the printer for the first round." You don't have to order any copies from the printer because you're not touching the books. You're not like, it's not like you're a bookstore where you're buying a bunch of the books and then reselling them. You don't touch Amazon's doing everything. That's the beauty of this all. He goes on to say, "The reason for this pre-sale, let's see, the delivery of your cookbook will be within 25 days. I want to be clear that this is a pre-sale." Yeah, we got that. "My cookbook will feature all of my personal recipes I've crashed through the years. Lots of them will be quick and easy, so you can be a 5-star chef in your own home. Sure thing. I will be donating $2 for every pre-sale cookbook I sell to my friend Dennis Hennessy's efforts to raise funds for the Jimmy Fund. Sure you are. Sure you are. I'm sure nothing went to him. And that's his name, by the way. He was in high school. They called him Snacks. That was his nickname. Very appropriate. So his name is Snacks. And people from his high school have contacted me, and they're like, this guy was the biggest asshole and loser in high school. Like somebody goes, anyway, a few years ago, I saw Mike on the news. I went on his website and saw he was selling autographed copies of a cookbook he wrote. Thought it would be funny to buy one and send it to another classmate of ours. Well, guess what? He took my money and never sent me the cookbook. I did try reaching out and never heard back from him. Everything in this article is so dead on as to how he acted in high school. And so, like, this guy bought the cookbook as a joke and didn't even get it, which is an even bigger joke. Anyway, he got on. So his big claim to fame was getting on this Food Network show, some cooking competition. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco was the ref or something for it. Dude made nachos, which is, I can make nachos. It's not that hard. And ice cream sandwiches too. And he constantly reaches out to anyone with a platform to tell them what a great cook he is. So I think we understand how he got on there in the first place. They didn't find him naturally. I'll tell you that much. Appearing on his show increased his credibility, and he used it for several years to promote himself. He was then invited to Watertown Middle School to speak to kids and was featured in the student newspaper. I linked it there. Now, this is an actual, I mean, keep in mind, kids wrote this, but just picture this guy trying to sound cool to middle schoolers. Like that's who he appeals to. Should Snacks meet dump truck? There wouldn't be any food left. There wouldn't be any food left if that was, I mean, just real quick. I mean, guys, come on. There's like, did you see them housing the food down? Like, look at this.
Yeah, we should probably leave.
Get that last bite in, girl. Get that last bite in. Anyway, we can talk about that later too. So let me read. On Friday, March 17th, Watertown's best chef, Mike Fucci, came to visit Watertown Middle School. Chef Mike has a lot of success in the cooking industry. He says he is ranked number 5 in Massachusetts, number 20 in the country, and is in the top 100 in the world. He owns a catering, like he told these kids there's like rankings of chefs and that he's like number 5 in the, like, oh my God. Yeah, they were kicked out. They were kicked out at that point. So, yeah, filters can't. Yeah, I mean, seriously, dude, dump trucks, just stop. Anyway, his ability to make up numbers in order to back up his lies is pretty remarkable. Like, if you recall all the like, oh, I have a 30% chance of losing my stomach and then the cancer will come back and blah, blah, blah. And I'm number 20 in the country and 5 in the state. He just makes shit up as he goes along. It's crazy. He lied to the student reporter, telling them that he donated the money he won on the show to a charity called Chef Mike's Helping Hands. Now, there was no charity called Chef Mike's Helping Hands. This is just another one of his scams. Somebody goes, you should check into his scam he ran for years called Chef Mike's Helping Hands, where he was supposed to feed the homeless, and he would gather money and donations and never show any receipts and then make chicken Caesar salads and shit and no turkey. Pocketed tons of money, but he's a generous guy. Sure he is. He started a GoFundMe for this fake charity that only raised $435. This is my fourth annual Chef Mike's Helping Hands event. Each year I raise funds to help our homeless veterans here in Boston for the holidays. Sure you do. It's a very large undertaking to feed these great men and women for a week. With your help, myself and my team of volunteers can make this a successful event again this year. So please help me make some great people on November 19th, 2017. And this is before he opened his store in Needham. So he's building himself up here. Oh, by the way, he ran for a chef of the White House in 2016. I hope this is facetious, but you never know with this guy. You never know. Now, let's get to the really funny shit here. This had me cracking up, dude. Oh, boy. So he comes back after he was on that show. He thinks he's King freaking Kong of Watertown. Like when he says he's a celebrity chef, in his mind, he means it. Like, I'm fucking famous. I'm Mike freaking Fucci, baby. And he's like, everybody wants to bang me. Like, I got all these chicks and, I got all this money and we're $28 million. In his mind, I think he actually believed this shit. Like, it's crazy. Hi, everyone. I have got to get something off my chest. It's been a little under 2 months since I was on since I won on Food Network. I went to California to shoot the show. When it came back to say where I was from, they wanted me to say I'm from Boston. I argued my point that I am from Watertown. They finally gave in. Here's why is bothering me. I got a ton of calls and messages congratulating me from representing Watertown so well on national TV. I got calls and messages from my friends at Watertown Police Department, Watertown Fire Department, town workers, and a lot of the great residents of Watertown, which is why I am so very grateful. So, first of all, none of that happened. No one, like, no cops or firefighters called him up like, dude, you were fucking awesome on the cooking channel. Thank you for representing us so well. We're talking about the police department, most known for taking out the freaking terrorists after the Boston Marathon bombing. This is Watertown, Massachusetts, for crying out loud. But Mike is the celebrity in town, not them, not the police. The police thank him for going on a show and making nachos in that Ocho Cinco 8. But I have yet to receive any calls from our town leaders. Not one call or a letter from any one of the town council, which you can't. Maybe you should learn how to spell that. It's called Board of Selectmen too, or town manager. A simple call would have been nice, is all I'm saying. I don't need a parade of confetti. He's very modest, guys. Guys, as much as you were thinking about giving him a parade, he doesn't need it. He's humble Mike Chef Fucci. Chef Mike Fucci. That's what he's known for, is being humble. It's like you might want, he understands that you want to throw him a parade because why wouldn't you? He's a celebrity chef, for crying out loud. But hold off on that. He'll accept, he'll stand for a simple phone call from every major elected leader in town, thanking him for representing the town so well on a cable news show. On a cable TV show, rather, not news. I don't need a parade. That's not what I'm saying. Just to have been acknowledged would have been nice. Just disappointed all. If they all say they didn't know, then they are either out of touch with the people in this town or it's pure ignorance. Yeah, if you don't know who Mike Fucci is, if you don't follow the freaking Food Network or his YouTube channel, then you're out of touch. You have no business being in office. You don't know shit. Either way, I'm a Food Network champion. And I'm thankful for all the support. I mean, guy, my daughter won a cheering competition this weekend, dude. That's about, you're on the same level as her. She came home all excited. She's like, I'm the grand champion, she said. So, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, but you're my grand champion. You're the best. And I'm like, and I just call her I'm like, do we have to call you grand champion now? Is that how you're introducing yourself as grand champion? But she's 7, and even she knows that, like, that's ridiculous. If I go around telling people I'm a grand champion, like, at the end of the day, it's nice, but who cares? Like, and she's 7, and she understands this. Mike Fucci wins a contest that nobody cares about on a channel that nobody watches, and he expects every person in Watertown to drop what they're doing and call him up and thank them for representing the community appropriately. Okay. Anyway, the timing couldn't have been worse for this because a 20-year veteran of the Watertown Fire Department, who he claims the fire department called him to thank him, named Joseph Toscano, died a week before in a building collapse. Literally a week before. And this is what a poster said in response. What's up, Mike? I want to start off by saying congrats on winning the show. Amazing job. You were hilarious. We obviously don't see eye to eye for whatever reason, which is completely fine. With that being said, I'm in shock that someone would ever do this. The most successful people in the world would never, ever think of doing something like that. You won a show on the Food Network, again, which is an amazing accomplishment. But to say you want a letter or some kind from a town representative is absolutely insane. Exactly. A town firefighter just lost his life tragically a few days ago. He left behind 5 kids, and you post that now. Have some remorse. We have heroes in the town that wear their badge every single day. They represent Watertown with honor, but I don't see them asking for praise like you just did. How many successful people have been raised in Watertown? Too many to count. They don't ask for anything. That's the thing. It's like if you're really successful and you're really a celebrity, you don't have to ask for it. You just get it. Nobody cares about you, Mike, because you're not worth caring about. I'm just blown away that you didn't win a show. I'm just blown away you won a show and all of a sudden you think you deserve praise. So what does Mike do? Oh, he doesn't like that very much. You can't disagree with him because this is a guy who literally just makes videos nonstop, calling people out, yelling at them, swearing at them. And so he tells this guy who's 23 years old and he's like in his, I think Fucci's in his mid 40s. He tells him, meet me at the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. This is like what I used to say to people back in the day when they wanted to fight me. I said, meet me at Whitco and Spencer. High noon. No police. Remembers those days. But this guy actually did it. And so the two of them actually met at the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot in Watertown and it made the papers or whatever. Like this is an actual clip. Somebody goes, really? A debate on this page turned into a real life meet me at the flagpole. Meet me at the Dunkies. Facebook argument turns into fracas. Let me just read this to you. A disagreement on social media turned into a police incident when two men from Watertown decided they should decide their argument in real life. At 11:10 on March 23rd, Watertown police received a report of two men fighting in the parking lot next to Dunkin' Donuts in Watertown Square. The men were yelling at each other when police arrived and they were separated. Both had consistent stories. How'd you like to get this call? First of all, the cops knew him, right? If they showed up right away, they're like, oh, we don't even need your ID. You're Chef Mike Fucci, celebrity chef of Watertown. Picture him when the cops rolled up there, like, hey, guys, you know me. I'm like, I don't have to introduce myself. So this joker over here, this joker was running his mouth on Facebook at me. He said that I'm insane. Can you believe it? He said I was insane because I expected the town manager to thank me for being on a TV show. Can you believe this joker? Can you believe this guy? This clown. Fucking, Mika Flango. Hey, what are we going to do with this guy? Huh? Put him in the bathroom. Frankie coffee cakes, no good. That's like what, I mean, picture being that cop responding to that. It was a debate on the Facebook group. You know you're from Watertown. Is that page still up? Oh, that page is gone. That's too bad. Okay. Both felt it would be better to express their respective opinions to each other in person. The two men, aged 23 and 42, pushed and shoved each other before police restored the peace, but then sent them on their way. This is a picture of this fat bastard and some kid in a parking lot at Dunkin' Donuts because the guy didn't show enough respect to celebrity chef Mike Fucci on Facebook in a Facebook group that he had to meet him in person. Good for this kid for showing up. Good for that kid for showing up. I'd love to reach out to that kid. If anybody knows Mike Baccari, have him get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to him. Anyway, in 2017, he was just assumed to be this quasi-famous chef because he was on the show. And a local restaurant called The Talk bought into the hype and hired him to be their chef, assuming that having a quote-unquote celebrity chef would increase their business. He once again was featured in the local newspaper, which I'm sure he called them about. And it says here, Watertown celebrity chef joining forces with The Talk restaurant. Okay. So the celebrity chef getting shit done. Sure thing, Mike. There he is. He told them he was using his restaurant to get my name out as Food Network champ. I will get my name out as Food Network champ, Fucci said. It helps when you have a restaurant under you. So he's announcing right from the beginning that I am getting more out of this restaurant than they are. That I need a job. Like I don't have, like it helps to be a chef that works, that's actually a chef, right? That actually has a job. So he gets the job at a local restaurant in town, except he had no intention of actually cooking or doing work. he's one of those guys that wants to be seen there. Like he wants to be on TV. He wants to put on a show. He wants to walk around the restaurant. Hey, how do you like the scallops? They're good? No? Let me tell you. We put some fresh prosciutto on that, and we hit the garlic, and then how's your wine? You need another glass of wine? Dear, can we get someone over here? Can we get some over here? Yeah. You want some extra Parmesan? You want some extra Parmesan? We got it for you. No problem. We got it for you. He wants to be that guy that walks around the restaurant doing that whole shtick. He doesn't actually want to cook, which is weird because the name of the job is literally cook. And he doesn't seem to want to do that much. He likes to he's all about the showmanship, not the actual cooking. So, being a cook is a lot of pressure, like I said. You got to manage employees, a lot of pressure, etc. And he had no idea it. Instead, he did this mostly.
Hello, friends. How are you? Chef Mike here. I'm at the Talk right here in Watertown Square. You can find me anytime you want. You know that now. It was a good announcement we did a little while ago. Tonight on the menu, right? I got specials coming out of my jet rule over here. You ready? Tonight I got some cold hogs nice. I got a lobster roll. Oh my God, lobster rolls, right? And then it's crazy, right? Then we got a seafood frat diavolo. Come down to the Talk. Come in and see me. Come and see the guys. You see everybody's hard at work. We're getting ready.
Not you. Not you.
You come down and you have a good time, right?
Yeah, so come down.
Ready? Say hi to Willie for me, everybody.
Come on, say hi to Willie for me. First of all, yeah, everyone's working hard here except for me. I'm not working. I'm the guy on my freaking phone. Yo, come down here and we'll talk and be like, hey, yo, so, how about on Patriots? I don't know about they're going to win the whole thing this year. What? Can you believe these jokers over here? Can you believe these clowns? They don't show me no respect in this town. I'm telling you, every cop and every firefighter, they all see me around and they say, hey, Chef Mike Fucci, celebrity chef, how you doing? My kids saw you on the Food Network, Mike. You're a great guy. Keep doing great things for Watertown. You're a good guy. But I'll tell you one thing, I don't hear from no board of selectmen and these politicians around here. They don't be showing me no respect. They're out of touch with the public. Out of touch. Show them some respect. Okay. But that's honestly what he seems to expect from these people. So, he's the kind of guy that would just walk around fishing for compliments. And he was really bad at his job. So he lasted all of 3 days. In the last decade, this guy has been employed for exactly 3 days at the Talk restaurant. And obviously they fired him because they realized right away, like, oh shit, this is a disaster. This guy is not who he presented himself to be. You're fired. He actually asked them, my sources told me, that can I stay one more night because his family was coming in and he wanted to show off and walk around. And they're like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, you absolute freaking clown. Anyway, from there it was back to Chef's Mike Catering. And Chef Mike's Catering turned back into, of course, that would eventually evolve into the Needham store because he wasn't making much money as a caterer. This guy got, he would announce every job he got. That's how he wasn't getting many jobs. If you were getting jobs all the time, you wouldn't feel the need to announce every job you got. So this guy really acts like he's this master chef, number 5 in Massachusetts, number 20 in the world, all this shit. And he thinks he's earned the right to mock other people. This is one of many videos on it. I believe his TikTok is down now. Just mocking people for making food.
Yeah, this is what you make. Okay?
Welcome to Cheese Fuckification Part 2.
There's tomatoes in there. There's 1 can of beer. Remember, all the alcohol gets cooked right out, so it's perfect. Okay, so now you take this, baby, and we're going to stir it around. Remember, there's also sausage in here. Too.
Yeah, there's the burnt sausage. Don't forget that.
You don't have to do dishes. You can leave.
The boys are done with this. They're going to the toilet.
And this is good.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. Hey, the toilet.
Washing it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Take it to any party you want.
Does it matter what can of
Sure.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
Don't show up to any party I'm going to.
Sort of, but we're all
yeah, so he's obviously better than her. He thinks he is. This is just a classic. This shows you how small time he really is. If you feel the need to get off on demeaning other people and their cooking skills, because that's all this guy does. He just demeans other people constantly in order to make himself feel better about himself because he is a massive failure. Anyway, he also liked to go around smearing other restaurants. He wrote about that. He wrote this one. He goes about Greg's in Watertown. So he's got a little Greg Bates to him here. I just ate dinner at Greg's in Watertown. Let me tell you, a couple of 3 things. That's his. He thinks he's being very folksy when he says that. It'd be one thing if you said that once. He says it all the time. Let me tell you a couple, 3 things. You know, if you like the food that this place has, you need your head examined. I will never make that mistake again. So he slams this other restaurant while working for a competitor, or about to work for a competitor. And somebody points out, Karen points out here, not very nice to a fellow local business, Mike. You sound like a bully. I love Greg's. We celebrated a family birthday there last night. All 7 of us, as usual, had a fantastic meal. Greg's is a favorite neighborhood place to most if you grew up in blah, 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 blah. And he writes, Karen, I reserve the right as a customer to my opinion of anywhere I eat, just as you do. Also, part of my job and responsibility as a chef and critic is to talk about my experiences. Part of your job as a chef and critic? What job is that? You don't have a job. You're unemployed. You're certainly not a food critic. And you contradict yourself because you say on the one hand that I'm just leaving a review as a customer. And then on the other hand, you're like, I'm a professional. I'm an excellent critic. Just because you're fat doesn't mean that you're an expert on food, my dude. Okay? Doesn't mean that. So he goes on to say, you may like it there. I don't think so. You may like it there, and this is fine. In my professional opinion, it was not. I hope you enjoy many more meals at your favorite spot. Okay. Relax there, Chef Mike. Then John Landini writes the following. John says, Chef, I'm a fan and supporter of almost anyone who endeavors to run a restaurant. As a chef, I think you have an obligation to be considerate and cognizant of the weight of your words and of your weight in general. Even if your opinion is right, some poor line cook or dishwasher may suffer from your new celebrity opinion. So this guy's convincing people he's a celebrity. God's waiting room is full of hungry people that run the economic spectrum. Be kind and gracious. And Mike responds by saying, I can appreciate your position, my friend. But when something is that bad, I cannot hold my tongue. Also, if it is that bad, people like myself need the feedback to maybe reevaluate what we are doing. If a line cook loses a job, it certainly wouldn't be my fault or because of my celebrity status. He actually wrote that, because of my celebrity status. Dude, I had no idea who you were until I found out you're a deadbeat that owed some woman $171. You don't have a celebrity status. I don't know who the fuck you were. I feel like I'm pretty up to beat on like the culture in Massachusetts. I'd never heard of you before this. You didn't have that big a following. You're not a celebrity because you went on a reality show 6 years ago, dude. Like, I was on Tim Pool a month ago. I'm not a celebrity because of that. Like, relax. So he goes on to say, how about this one? This is the best part. If there is somebody that you happen to know at that restaurant, and as you say, my opinion has more weight than most, if you want to speak on my behalf with them to set up another dinner, I'll give them 1 month to work out the kinks. But beware, it's beware. If you want to do this with me, I will be very fair with them as I was today. That will work for them, or it could be very bad. Let me know what you think, my friend. So, talk about the arrogance here. I'm going to give you 1 month to get your shit together to make it good enough for Chef Mike. You know, I got very high standards. I eat a lot of food, especially pasta. I love the carbs. My wife Jennifer's always telling me, honey, you gotta take it easy on the carbs because whatever. But you know what? I'm a stubborn guinea. That's just how I talk. It just is what it is. I like food. I don't like exercise and shit. I just like to get out there and I like to eat. I love ravioli. I can't get enough ravies. What am I going to do? Somebody tells me, you want some more ravioli? Fuck am I going to say no? Do I look like a fucking schmuck? Like a fucking schmoogle or some shit? Huh? No. So keep your fucking mouth shut when it comes to ravioli, because I'll eat as much fucking ravioli as I want. Anyway, he goes on. So there's that arrogance. So we're going to get to more. This is a man with the YouTube channel, again, who got fired after 3 days as a chef, but he's a goddamn expert. So stay tuned for part 6 of this series, our last installment. Now, I'm going to be very honest about the last installment. So he exploits a man's death. There's a guy on the former Red Sox pitcher by the name of Jim Crissy. I remember him. He was a relief pitcher. I don't even know when. I feel like in my childhood days or whatever. He has posted about this guy relentlessly on social media. Like, that's my best friend, Jimmy, Jimmy Crissy. We go way back. Well, so I was going to write about it, and I'm not going to lie. Like, one of his daughters doesn't want me to write about it. One of Jim Corsy's. And I'm like, and I'm willing to hear her out. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I was willing to hear her out, but she messaged me and she told me straight up, you can't write about it. You can't write about this. And whatever, like, she's like, the guy died over a year ago, but he used Jim Corsy's death to enrich himself, to build up his profile as this loving, caring guy. And Jim's daughter, and I empathize with her, her father died, is like, I don't want my dad being brought into this. It's like, but he brought your dad into this. So I'm just talking about what he's been doing. And she like messaged me and she was like telling me, you can't write about him. Okay. Please don't tell me what I can and cannot write about. So I called her today. I'm like, can we talk on the phone? So we talked on the phone, and I thought, like, maybe we can explain myself to her. I'm like, I can be delicate. I can be sensitive to your feelings. I am going to write about this, but I want to be, Michael Baccari is here. Is he really? Oh, we got to get him on. Is he? Oh, is that really you? You're the guy? We got to get him on. Do you want to come on? I can send you the invite. I'm going to put a link in the comments if you want to come on. You can click on that link if you want to come on, and we can have you on. I'd love to talk about that incident. Yeah, but basically I'm like, like, don't tell me what I can't write. And she's like, oh, you can't write about this. And I'm like, she's like, don't write about it. And then I'm like, what do you mean, don't write about it? I'm like, all due respect, I can write about whatever I want to write about. It's a free country. And if I feel like this guy is using your father's passing to hurt other people, then I have a right to do that. I'm not like, you can't tell me what I can and cannot write about. And she wasn't understanding that. So sorry. Anyway, this guy wants to come on. He's not a Ratchet. He's not Ratchet Redemption. He's the guy that met Mike Fucci in a parking lot in Watertown 5 years ago over Facebook beef, because Mike Fucci felt that the town manager was not giving him the props that he was due. Okay. Okay. So let's, unless he wants to come on, Jim Corsy's pitched for the Oakland A's in the 80s, did a stint with the Red Sox at the end of his career. Okay. I knew it sounded familiar. Hold on. People are saying, hold on. I'm getting a message from somebody about this right now. Okay. Yeah. If Mike Baccari wants to come on, he's more than welcome to. I'd love to have him on. Okay. So, but anyway, until we do that, interviews about Ratchet's my second favorite. Yeah. I want to hear about that parking lot incident. I want to hear about how that ended, what the cops said. I want to hear all about that. So if Mike wants to come on, he's more than welcome to. But anyway, so I also said that I was going to talk about some of the emails. So let me see if I got them here. Hold on. Let me pull them up on my end. Oh, and before I do that, I also got like all these people from Needham just need to stop, chill out. Like, let me bring up some of these things people are saying. All right, hold on. Yeah, I got to download them first. Yvonne was sent. No. All right, hold on. Okay, where do you read some of these? Maybe I should do a blog on this because I just can't stand when people do shit like this. They're like mad about like stop giving Turtleboy attention. Like what? Hold on. I gotta download these. Be right there. And you should not. And I'm so sick of the people feeling bad for this guy. Like, okay, let's be very clear about this. Like, you'll see. They're saying they're doing the mental illness thing with this guy. This guy is not mentally ill at all. Let's be very clear about that. And we can't just use that as an excuse for everything. All right, let me pull them up. Oh, I hear the bing there. Is that him? Oh, it is him. We got him. Okay. Thanks for coming on.
Turtleboy, what's going on?
You're the guy that met Mike Fucci in a parking lot?
I am the guy that met Mike Fucci in the parking lot.
How did that
I just got 700 text messages saying I gotta go on and I gotta talk to you.
Yes, yeah. So I loved your comment from 5 or 6 years ago. Did you ever think a comment of yours would from 6 years ago on a community Facebook
No,
would resurface like this?
I didn't, to be honest, especially at 10:30 at night on a Tuesday. I'm in bed.
So you actually met with this guy in a parking lot, and what happened? Were you guys pushing each other?
Yeah, no, nothing really happened in the parking lot, to be honest. We just, we were just exchanging words, and I didn't think he was gonna come, to be honed with you, but
he did.
He ended up showing up. He ended up showing up in like a blacked out Cadillac DeVille wearing a velvet jumpsuit like he was in the mafia.
He does look like Saragusa a little bit.
It was unbelievable. But
so
no, I don't know.
And what happened when the cops got there?
Nothing. The cops were, we know Watertown's a small town, right? So we know all the cops, and it was
he does. He actually is best friends with all of them.
Fucci is best friends with all of them. He does a bunch of food drives for them.
Yes, he does a lot. They all called him after the show to thank him for representing the town well.
Yeah. No, but honest, nothing really happened. The parking lot wise, nothing happened. It wasn't like a brawl. It was nothing. We just exchanged words, and we just said, hey, I don't know. I don't really remember. It was 5 years ago, but we just said, I know I called him a fat slob at one point, which was good.
Yeah. And I assume he was running his mouth too.
Yeah. He was just saying, oh, you're a fucking idiot and you get troublemaker and you're a punk and blah, blah, blah. It was nothing really. It was just us talking back and forth to each other nonsense. But it was the Facebook was really what, his Facebook post is really what started it. It was, I believe it was like 2 or 3 days after.
It was a week after the firefighter died.
It was a week after the firefighter died, but it was like 2 days after they had actually buried him.
Oh, really? Okay. And so that was obviously big news. There was big news in town.
Yeah. The town was like a ghost town. You know what I mean? Everyone was very quiet, and you could just feel like the atmosphere in town was a really sad moment for Watertown, and he came out of nowhere. He posted this big long thing about him winning some bullshit food show that no one even cared about.
Yeah, I don't watch the Food Network. I wouldn't know.
He made like hamburgers. I don't even know.
He made nachos. Which is even less.
He made nachos. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
no one really cared about it at all. And he's asking for all this praise and whatever. My buddies were behind me saying, "Oh, comment," because we used to. Fucci, you got to go on and his old Facebook and find his videos of him making hamburgers.
Oh, really?
It was some of the best material I've ever seen in my life.
Some people have been chronicling this guy for years. They're the ones sending me a lot of this stuff because it's been pulled down years ago. Some of this stuff.
There's stories there. I'm telling you.
Keep sending them in, people. If you have any old Fucci videos, send them all in. I love this stuff.
10 plus years of stories from this guy. He's the biggest scam artist there is. He used to do like turkey drives for kids. I remember he raised like $6,000 one year, and he made these like turkey sandwiches on like, you know, Wonder Bread. It was literally a slice of turkey, a piece of bread, and that was it. He raised like $6,000. It probably cost him $300 in sandwiches, and then he said he passed them out to the homeless people and
the homeless vets. The homeless vets.
No, homeless people.
Homeless people. He wrote homeless vets in his thing.
Yeah,
like when he raised money for his cookbook, he had a GoFundMe for his cookbook. For some reason, a for-profit enterprise required a GoFundMe, and so which, by the way, you self-publish on Amazon. It has no costs. Like you just publish, you send in the words, they publish it, and you get a cut of each sale that makes. So it literally costs you nothing.
He used to do the GoFundMes, right? He would organize the GoFundMes, and then he would go around business to business personally. He'd go business to business in town and get personal checks from them and say, "Oh, can you give me the check? You know, I'll put it into the GoFundMe." And if you went and looked at the GoFundMe, none of the checks were there. So he was pocketing. Yeah. He was just pocketing all the checks.
Oh, of course he was. Of course he was. So is this guy like well known in Watertown now? Like for years, like I just found out who he was. Is he known as being a douchebag in town?
When we were in high school, we used to torment this guy on Facebook because he's always been known as like a scam artist, to be honest, a scumbag. And, you know, he was just one of those guys. Like when we were in high school, we were 15, 16, 18 years old, and we would.
How old are you now?
I'm 29 now.
Okay, so this is like 11 years ago. He's been doing this for that long?
Oh, I could tell you stories from freshman year in high school. This guy's been doing it forever. This guy's been doing it forever.
Really? Okay. Yeah. But he was just on YouTube. Like he got to start with YouTube videos, right?
Yeah. So like, you know, as the time has progressed, he's been getting worse and worse and worse with, you know, as like GoFundMe came along, and because I don't know if GoFundMe was really around back then, but you know, he's been getting bad with the money, like being in public, obviously now saying that he has cancer. Like that's outrageous. Didn't surprise me one bit. But
that was the final. Yeah, that was the final straw. Like
yeah,
I mean, that's what caught my attention was the cancer thing.
As that thing came out, I mean, it was in 500 group chats. Like he does not have cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So this is interesting. So he stumbled upon something that people were talking about behind the scenes.
Second, that any of the people like that I know, not 1 second did anyone believe it.
Really?
Oh my God, not even close. I saw that and I literally laughed. I was like, this is funny. Wow. This is crazy.
Because the woman who sent it to me, she said the same thing. She's like, I don't want to call him a liar, but I just have a feeling about this. And I looked at it and I'm like, this makes no sense. This makes no sense.
Absolutely no shot.
The dude couldn't even spell the therapy that he was getting that was going to save his life. He kept calling it cleation. It's like, dude, it's CH.
And it's very, very, very simple logic. We are in the #1 cancer research state maybe in the world. In the world. Yeah. People come here from all over. Yeah. And then he's going to go to get holistic therapy in Florida. So I was talking to someone the other day. That is the only logical explanation that I can come up with, that, you know, he has burned so many bridges in this community in Massachusetts, you could say, that the only way he could start fresh is to get out of state. That's the only way that guy will recover, especially from this right now.
He has to leave. I mean, I don't know how he can come back from this.
Watching this right now, Fucci, like, you know, with all due respect, you got to get out of state. You got to at this point. You have
to change your name, something, you know.
The show You on Netflix, he needs to do that.
Never seen it.
Yeah. He goes state to state and country to country and changes identity. That is what Fucci needs to do.
Yeah, you just got to start fresh. I mean, he was
fresh.
I do wonder if he was ever even going to actually go to Florida, if he was just going to pocket the cash and say he went to Florida.
Well, no, I mean, truthfully, I believe that he was going to go to Florida. He was going to go.
Like he had a house. He legitimately had a house that he was going to stay at there. It was some guy he met on coin collecting. I think he was planning on. I think he saw this guy as like a naive person that he could rip off. I think that was his next victim.
I will say this about Fucci. He's very good with words. He could
yes, he is.
Yeah, no, he really can. He can
Yeah.
sell water to a well. He's very good. He's very manipulating. You know, he can talk. He's smooth. He's definitely smooth. There's another story. Yeah.
You can tell me.
He's smooth.
Okay.
He bamboozled a guy out of over $100,000 from Watertown. The guy the guy had to sell his house.
Was that the same guy who was a partner in the business initially?
Oh, different guy. Different guy.
Oh, it's a different guy. Okay. I heard parts of that. I didn't hear the whole story, so I couldn't print anything.
He said he can make this guy money from the streets or something. And you know, obviously, yeah. So, and he beat the guy for over $100,000, and the guy had to sell his house to make up for it, basically.
I mean, what he did to this woman with the kid, it's like she's struggling, the kid is struggling. It's like evil. Like, what do you say to the people who are like, oh, he's mentally ill? Because that's the excuse people are using for him.
No, honest to God, you know what? He has, I don't know what you want to call it, but he definitely.
It's called narcissism. That's what it is. This is narcissism. He has a complete lack of empathy for anyone.
Yeah,
anyone else but himself.
He's really bad. There's something really, really wrong with him. I think it's beyond medical treatment. Like I think I don't know. What about his wife? I mean, she's co-signing all this, isn't she? She's in on 100%.
She's in on it, you think?
There's no way. How are you gonna be
But then why does she has a legitimate career working for a major company? Why is she I mean, you're participating in a scam. How does she not care about her livelihood?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they live in their parents or in her parents' house. You know,
and that's the other thing. How could she be happy with that? Like, what kind of woman is looking for a man that like we have to move in with my parents? You can't even afford.
What kind of woman would be happy with Mike Fucci?
I don't know. Good question. It's a good question.
Can't even bend over and tie his own shoes.
Well, some people like fat guys. I don't know. It's like some people can look past that, I guess. But he's fat. I mean, his personality sucks too. He's not just physically ugly. He's a horrible person.
He really is not a good person.
Yeah. So,
really.
Well, anyway, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate the perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Imagine making a comment on a Facebook page and then 6 years later that's up in Turtleboy because you showed up to confront the guy in Duncan's. That's freaking hilarious. I mean, I've gotten in a lot of pissing matches on Facebook before with people, and I've seen people say like, "Oh, kick your ass," and I've seen all that before. I've never seen two people actually show up and get in a pissing match. Somebody called the cops on him. Somebody called the cops. Oh, I would have paid good money to be there. Let me show you some comments here that I've seen on this Needham Facebook group, right? The comments people are making. Look at this. Karen Green. Look at her. Karen Green writes, "Stop supporting Turtleboy." She writes, "Stop supporting Turtleboy," because this is being shared in various Needham Facebook groups. And it's like, you're not supporting me. Like, I'm the only one reporting on this. And like, we all agree this guy sucks. He's lying about having cancer. He's abandoning his child. I could go down the list of why this guy sucks, but all people like Karen care about is me. They're just like, I don't care about, who cares if he's doing this good thing and exposing this horrible person? Stop supporting him. What is that? So you want us to suppress, you want to cover for Mike Fucci? His delivery may not be your thing, but he's exposed what's scamming people out of business, out of thousands. Do some research. I've known about him for way too long. He is disgusting. Okay, what is that? I'm disgusting? How am I? Have you seen your face, Karen? I mean, I don't want to pick on you too much, but, come on. Come on. Let's not talk about disgusting, Karen. Be nice. Be nice. Show some empathy. Do some research. I've known about him for way too long. He is disgusting. He is not a journalist. He's not exposing anyone. He's picking up something that someone else exposed and running with it. Wait, who else exposed that and ran with it? Like, what are you talking about? Who else exposed this? I'm the only one who exposed this. Like he just said, people were talking behind the scenes about it, but this guy was going to continue to scam people. He'd have 20 grand right now in his bank account if it weren't for me. I kept him from getting that. I ended the scam. Actually, not just running with it. He builds on it, gets pictures of people, finds their addresses. When do I do that? And puts them up online so they can be attacked and harassed. Okay, I'd like to ask you, Karen. Of course, your name's Karen. Look, which friend of yours was featured in the blog? That's what this comes down to. Which friend of yours did we feature, and what did they do? Because nobody ends up on Turtleboy by accident. You have to do something very bad to end up on this blog. And a lot of people they'll say, oh, he only goes after Democrats and liberals and blah, blah, blah. Chef Mike Fucci was like Mr. Conservative Talk Radio. Like Mr. like, fuck you, government. Fuck you, Maura Healey. They're coming after me. I'm a political prisoner. Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. How would you like it if you put your picture, name, address, phone number, spouse's name, and children's names online and accuse you of something awful that wasn't true? Okay, be more specific. She goes on to say, actually, let me go down to the bottom here. So it went on to say, do some research. I was in the blog and witnessed firsthand what so Yvonne was the one who had money, $171 stolen from her by this douchebag. And this other one was like, wasn't true. I'm wondering how much proof do you need apart from telling everyone he had an aggressive cancer, then lying about lying, then found out on video himself, firsthand experiences, court documentation. That's the thing. I had court documents, text from himself. I'm wondering what more proof you're after. Obviously things he's saying about the chef are true. Okay, then what's the problem? Who cares? Like, who cares? The Daily Beast, which is not a website I like a lot, they were the first ones to expose Eliza Blue. And so I enjoyed they did a good job on that story. When a media outlet that you don't like writes something that you agree with, then it's okay to just agree with it. Be like, okay, good job. I don't normally agree with you, but good job. These people are incapable of that because they're so tribal. You can't just admit that, yeah, he did a good job on this one because I did. And you say that in the first, obviously the things he's saying about the chef are true. Then what's the problem? I'm saying that Turtleboy has beat his drum about people and it has turned out not to be true. Name one thing. One thing. You can't. He is not a journalist. Apparently I am. Because call me whatever you want to call me, but who else is doing this? You tell me. You tell me. So people were talking about, everyone in Eden was talking about watching it, but not everyone liked that. Karen says, the first time I became aware of this fool was 2015. That narrows it down. He is unsavory, to say the least. Okay, but who cares? You don't like, but what about Mike Fucci? So other people are saying here, he's a scammer, asking for money to support his terrible form of inflammatory journalism. The best thing to do is stop reading that garbage. Asking for money. Guys, they hate it when I ask you guys for money. So please, whatever you do, guys, I'm begging you right now. There's a link at the top to something called Turtle Chat. If you click on that link and donate money to me, you get to write a message. I will get a notification about it on my email, and I will have no choice but to read it out loud. If you do that, though, just understand this. Joni Shockett, that's her name, is going to be very upset. So please, whatever you do, don't upset Joni Shockett by donating money on the Turtle Chat or by Cash Apping $ Uncle Turtleboy. If you do that, she's going to freaking lose it, man. I mean, look at her. Asking for money to support his terrible form of inflammatory journalism. The best thing you can do is stop reading that garbage. You'll really upset her, guys. So please, again, please don't give any money to the grift. Okay. Oh, God, somebody just donated. Oh, for fuck's sake. Lauren D. Laguna says, I pissed you off earlier. Here's $10. Love your show. Everyone smashed the like. Well, I appreciate that. You didn't piss me off. It's just how I talk. But yeah, so there's that. Yeah. Again, please don't, but seriously, guys, don't do it because this poor woman is going to lose her goddamn mind if you contribute to the grift. So again, what does she want me to do? Stop reading it? Like, you want people not to know that this guy's lying about having cancer? Why would you want to cover that up? Like Corey says, I'm not surprised in my experience. The more someone tells you how great they are while making themselves out to be a victim, the greater the likelihood of them being a grade A narcissist. Precisely, Corey. Precisely. I feel bad for anyone who's still caught in his web, including his wife. I don't feel bad for the wife. He goes, where are the police on this issue? He committed fraud and stole money from people. But you wouldn't even know he was doing that had I not written about it. That's the thing. I had literally exposed him. Oh, God, more people are cash apping me. You're going to make poor Joni here all upset. 7-pounder sends $10 and says, for my meatloaf recipe is amazing. Fuck off, Chef Mike. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. You got to stop. Oh, no, another one? Oh, guys, DW sends $25 and says, God, I hope this doesn't upset Joni Bitchell too much. Go, Unc, go. Oh, please, guys, please show some respect. No more donuts. Oh, another one. We got Carl Dennis Lively sends $15 and says, for fuck Karen, keep doing you. Oh, guys, Karen's going to be so mad. Joni's going to be so mad. They're going to think I expect to make a living doing what I do for a living. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's so freaking weird. They hate it, guys. They don't like it, though. They would rather live in a world where these sort of stories were covered up because they disagreed with one thing that I wrote another time. Therefore, I should cover for this horrible person who's doing these horrible things. Okay? The money from the GoFundMe was given back, I guess, from previous threads about him. I'm not sure it was actually illegal. It's just scumbag behavior. I mean, I'd like to see the police go after him, but they need people to complain. You know, you have to have donated money for that to happen. Oh, I like this comment from Peter Graffman. Shout out to Peter Graffman. So some people in town get it. Peter says, I have read his 4 posts. He is a reporter. He did an incredible amount of research and presented it in a chronological, precise way. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you, Peter. And that is what, I mean, journalism is. I brought receipts. All of my stories are like that. All of them. That's what I do. Wake up and do every day is real news. I'm working on this other story, man, about one of the most horrible dog trainers you've ever seen in South Boston. We got a story coming on that. You have no idea the amount of abuse coming out of this one place. So again, that's the kind of story that I write about. So thank you. He's incredibly misogynistic as well. Don Lemon is. So yeah, he's like basically, but yeah. So who cares? Like, what else do we got here? There's some other woman named Becky Terry who didn't like me either. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have it? Okay. What else are people saying here? Somebody said, so Becky Terry, whoever she was, didn't like it. And someone said, I actually like him. So thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. And somebody says, just curious if you have seen what he has said about women. See, this is where they go, especially women of color. I respect your opinion if you truly know what he truly stands for. But if you say this just on his posts about Mike, then you need to dig further. He is racist and misogynistic. So, Jody, again. So not Joni, Jody. So I want to put this out there to Jody. I'm not going to shit all over you, Jody. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to do the things that you think that I do to people like you. I'm not going to do that. New year, new turtle. But I will say this. I challenge you. I challenge you, Jody Rooney, right now. You said here, to back up anything that you said, you said you've seen what I've said about women, especially women of color. What have I said about women of color? And be specific, please. Which specific woman of color do you have a problem with me blogging about? Was it Monica Cannon Grant? She's a woman of color, and I've written about her because she committed 18 felonies and is being charged by the federal government, and also threatened to murder my friend Rayla Campbell because she rode quote unquote white penis for a credit score because her husband is white. So is that what you're talking about? Am I not allowed to criticize Monica Cannon Grant because she is a woman of color? Is that what you're saying? If so, just come out and say it. I mean, back up. I mean, this is what these people do. They always say things about you, but they can't back any of them up. I respect your opinion, but if you say blah, 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 he's racist and misogynistic, am I? But if you say this just on his posts about Mike, it's like, who cares? But I did a good job on this post, so who cares? I've only read a few of his articles. He's definitely not PC. You got that right, Cynthia. He definitely exposes and says what no one else would dare say. Thank you. As far as a woman, person of color, I haven't read any of that. But I do get the feeling that no one's really safe. She gets me. She gets me. Cynthia has been reading the blog for all of 10 minutes, and she gets me, folks. Thank you, Cynthia. Take a look at his blog. He posts pictures of women and their families, children included. When do I do that? I always black out the faces of the kids. Let's be very clear about that. He posts pictures of women. Like I'm just going around posting pictures of innocent people and being like, ha, look at these people and their stupid kids. Let's all laugh at them. No. I'm writing a blog about someone. I'm going to show you a picture, period. If your wife is in on it, I'm going to show her too. I showed Jennifer Fucci's face. She's in on it. When he disagrees with them, making them targets for stalking by his followers. Not right at all. He is beyond not PC. He is dangerous. The only people that I am dangerous to, Jody Rudy, is the establishment, criminals, communists, and other people who are trying to scam people actively. That's who I'm very dangerous to them, for sure. Not like physically dangerous, like I'm not going to hurt you, but economically dangerous. Like Mike Fucci is, he lost 20 grand because of me. His reputation will never be the same because of this. It's going to hurt. It's going to sting for a while. Eliza Blue lost like 40,000 followers after I wrote a blog about her, and is going to have a hard time pretending to be a sex trafficking survivor for many more years. So we'll see. We'll see. So I disagree with your assessment, Jody Rooney, but I'm open for a conversation. Something tells me you won't go for it, but my inbox is open and I don't bite. So somebody else writes, Rob Bono writes, so glad to read this. Turtleboy is an outright mask-off racist who receives material support from right-wing agitators. Is that who just donated to me? All you right-wing agitators? Oh, by the way, speaking of right-wing, we got another dono here. Mr. Cheeseburger sends $5 and said, for Joni needs a good realignment of facts. Yikes. Thank you very much, Mr. Cheeseburger. Turtleboy is an outright mask-off racist. Am I? How am I a mask-off racist? I mean, do any of these people ever back up anything they're saying? No, of course not. They just take these shots. Like if I wanted to be as trashy as Rob Bono and as ignorant as him, I could be like, Rob Bono is a pedophile, right? If we're just going to throw names out there and just call people things that we don't know about them and just make shit up, I could be like, Rob Bono's a pedophile, because a mask off pedophile too, not just a regular pedophile, a mask off one. I could just say that if I wanted to, I guess, because you're doing the same with me, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to stoop. You want me to stoop to your level and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to point out what a dishonest liar you are, Rob Bono. And again, I challenge you. I will give you any amount of money you want if you can show me one racist thing I've ever said, an actual racist thing. You can't be like, he criticized Monica Cannon Grant. That's racist. No, show me an actual racist thing I do, and I will shut the blog down forever. Even a stopwatch is right twice a day. I hope the actual media will pick up the story so we can stop supporting a hate monger. And therein lies the problem, Rob Bono, because I got news for you. First of all, I am the actual media, and the actual media is not going to write about this. You know why? Because to do so would be admit that they created this monster, just like the Globe created Monica Cannon Grant. WCVB and all these other media outlets that had Mike Fucci on and presented him as this great guy and all this shit, they contributed to this. They made this monster. They're not going to cover him up. So they're like, I hope the real media does. So I am the real media. That's your problem. And no, they're not. And I'm the only one who writes about stuff like this because I'm the only one that actually cares about stopping people like this. They are interested in the fairy tale version of shit. They like that. They don't like reality. Jody says he has no support. What did she say? He has no support for his close to, if not outright libelous posts. Where is he getting his info? So now she's like defending Mike. Where am I getting his info? How about the court records that I posted? How about his baby mama? How about his recent girlfriend? How about text messages that he's written? Like, these are actual documents. How about I talk to the freaking people in Florida that allegedly do this therapy? It's all a lie. Everything's a lie. That's how journalists do their job. So no, these people are just mad and butthurt because someone they don't like is making a difference. Then we got people like Diane here, who I'm also sick of. Now, she's not shitting on me, but I don't like her comment. She says, I'm sure I'll be criticized for saying this. I don't know Mike, but I do know, at least I think I know, he has a serious mental illness. And for everybody to make fun of him is really horrifying. Imagine reading all this and be like, you know who the victim is here? Mike Fucci. Because people are bullying him. First of all, we're not bullying him. Nobody's bullying Mike Fucci. He's a 45-year-old man. He can't be bullied. Stop using that word, bullied. He is a bully. He has been bullying people for years. He has been threatening people, acting like a tough guy. And enough with the mental illness stuff. Like, obviously, I'm sensitive to that. And I will, like, the Duxbury thing, right? What, I don't even think about that story. But that, to me, was mental illness. Because it made no sense otherwise except for that. And that's why I felt for the murderer in that situation, right? As well as the people that were left behind and devastated by that. But Mike Fucci is not mentally ill. Are you a doctor? How are you assessing him as mentally ill? He's not mentally ill. He's a narcissist. He knows exactly what he's doing. People who are mentally ill still have empathy. This man has no empathy for anyone. There is a 4-year-old boy out there who wants his daddy and is not getting any financial support or help from the man who created and abandoned him. That kid will grow up thinking, why didn't my daddy want me? And he will be very sad about that. He will have a lot. It's not easy. It's not easy. My daddy was so close and he wanted nothing to do with me. Think of the damage. Do you care? But we're supposed to give a fuck about Mike Fucci? Sorry, Diane. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Nobody's bullying him. He's getting exactly the same treatment that he's been giving to other people for years. For years. I'm sure he's done some damage to people. You think? I really don't know the story. Well, maybe you should read it before you open your pie hole. These people like, oh, I don't know shit. And I'm just throwing it off the cuff here, but I'm going to share my stupid fucking opinion anyway, because I just feel like it, because I just felt like writing words. I couldn't shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. I saw people talking on Facebook. So I just decided to come on here and say something stupid that I don't know the first thing about. But I'm just going to say it anyway, because that's what you do now. You just say anything that goes through your head. You just fucking throw it on social media and you just say it. I don't really know the story. I know he pretended to have cancer. And I've been dealing with cancer in my family for several years. So that's extremely offensive. With that said, this is because of a bullying situation for a mentally ill person. No, it's not. Regardless of his offenses, he needs help. And here we are just laughing at him and making jokes. What should we be doing? Offering him help? What do you want us to do? We're exposing him. People should laugh at him. Because he feels no empathy for you. Mental illness is serious. Can we please find some compassion? No. Instead of criticism? No. I want to make it very clear. I do not know this man. Yeah, maybe if you did, you'd understand what a piece of shit he is. Maybe if you talked to the woman he impregnated, or you talked to his ex-girlfriend, or you talked to any of these people, the Coppola family, that made the GoFundMe and trusted this man and helped this man and now feels so betrayed by this man. Maybe if you talk to them, that would give you some perspective. But no, you didn't do that. You just woke up in the morning. You're like, I'm gonna regurgitate the freaking moronic things that just went on my head and put them on Facebook. That's what I'm gonna do with my day. Is he gonna end up in jail? He should. I don't know if he's gonna end up in a mental institution. No, he's not. I don't know, but I certainly don't want to criticize him and cause more harm. You can laugh at this post or criticize me all you want. It's just such a sad situation. It's really not. It's a horrible situation. Not sad. It's sad for the child. That's what's really sad for. I do not know why people keep harping on it. I wish him health. I'm not sure if he can recover, but I'm certainly not going to be part of making his life worse. Okay. You're such a good person, Diane. Get over yourself. Another guy, Bill Giggs, is like so sick of him. He's with me. You want to feel bad for someone? Feel bad for this fatherless child. Let me be clear. I do not feel bad for this man. You literally just wrote a whole thing about how you feel bad for him. I feel that the grown adults that are putting up comments and jokes about him are unfair and bullying. I don't know anything about the child. Well, maybe you should. But clearly, she is probably better off without him. No child is better off without a father. None. That's the thing. He should be taking care of this kid, but he's not. That's the tragedy of this all. My point of, and again, any man who can do that, like I love my kids so freaking much that even if I if I had a kid out of wedlock, like whatever, 15 years ago, it would not be ideal, right? But I would love that child no matter what, because I'm human. Like any normal human being naturally has that empathy within them. He does not. That doesn't make him mentally ill. It makes him a horrible person. Some people are just bad. He's a bad person. Anyway, any more comments? What's this one? Somebody points this out and she just goes, again, I have been on the very edge of this. I really don't know this man. Anybody who fakes cancer and is angry as this guy is and is a narcissist, thank you, clearly has mental illness. No, narcissism is not a mental illness. It's just you're an asshole. I cannot stress enough. I'm not forgiving him for what he has done. What I'm aggravated with is the joking about the situation. That's all I'm going to say. Stop commenting. Okay. Sure thing. Anybody else have anything to say? I do not know Chef Mike, and I have no personal experience or any of the situations, but I'm going to say something anyway. Good job. I've lived in Needham for 18 years and met Mike through a mutual friend. I can't speak about whatever is going on with him now, but really? Don't folks have something better to do? Say something nice about a neighbor. That's worth reading. Oh, I'm sure you've never criticized anyone before, Marie. What is your name, Marie? Yeah, I'm sure you've never said anything negative about, Donald Trump or something like that. I'm sure you're really worried about bullying. I mean, it's just so unhuman to be like, we can't criticize people when they're doing horrible things. Of course we can. Stop it. Stop trying to police our speech and what we say and don't say. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Okay. Why don't we do a little Ask Turtleboy? Oh, we got another dono here. You guys are going to kill Joni. $100. Dude, Joni's going to lose her mind. This is from PR. It says Turtleboy. It's so refreshing to see a real investigative journalist do their job well. Oh, that's really going to piss her off. You exposed a fat bastard, no good fake chef who wronged a lot of people all the time. Thank you for this tenacious reporting. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. That's going to get Joni upset, though. So thank you very much, Mr. PR. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Okay, so why don't we do a little Ask Turtleboy? If you have any questions, fire away. Dude, did you guys see the video I made there of Krusty Panties in New York? This is my favorite one. This is my favorite one right here.
Quotes said, "Do you regret fucking with Lauren M?" No, Meatball said.
Again, if you missed it, they went out at New York City with this murderer named what's his name? Dave Obo, I think. They call him Team Skeptic on YouTube. He literally killed a man in drunk driving about 15 years ago, I believe. And now he has got a YouTube channel he grifts off of. And they went out in New York City and they live streamed themselves with like a 360 camera doing nothing. Just, it's like the worst content ever. But then they have a chat bot where you can write into the comments and you write like a code, like ! speak or something like that. And the bot will read your comment out loud. So, we did some fun stuff like this.
Jameson's too much for me. Quotes. Said, why won't you address Kate's boyfriend pulling a knife on her daughter Teresa?
Because that didn't happen.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, they're moist.
Quotes. Said, Kate, any comment on your third straight loss in criminal court? Your motion to dismiss was denied. Twister's music.
The loss
said,
would be getting convicted.
Her face. The chatbot, like, I can't believe they didn't turn the chatbot after that. I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna have some fun with that. I was just getting started. Like, what else do we got there?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
We have the same frames.
Oh, this.
The same frames. Aidan and says, imagine killing someone, driving and continuing to drink,
but not continuing to drive.
That'd be me, baby. That would be me.
Oh my God.
That would be me, baby. That would be me. Of course, Kate's there making excuses for him, but he's not driving. Yeah, the drunk driver who killed someone, he's just drinking, not drinking and driving. So that's okay. I'm sure the family of the person he killed are very feel a lot better about that. Watch this guy on YouTube grifting. What's this
Colonel
one?
Goat Banger. Old Brett Quotes said, why won't you address Kate's boyfriend pulling a knife on her daughter Teresa?
Well, that's not really what happened.
Said,
also, my daughter doesn't really want anything to do with you. Let's keep minor children off the internet.
Delete
you could be like Aidan and stare at her tits,
shall
though.
we play a game? For me, it's either checkers or
literally. That was so weird.
Your daughter?
Yes, her boobs on his live stream. I got a screenshot of it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like
petite balls.
That's why I don't let anything. They can say anything they want. When you do that, you just prove to me that whatever you say about me means nothing. It just means nothing.
Did you see some of the police reports that came out about him lately? So somebody put it out today. Aidan went to some woman's house who's on the school committee. So he ran for school committee and he lost miserably, right? So he went to this woman's house and started taking pictures of her and asking her if she was going to move. And like she found him around her neighborhood for an entire fucking weekend. The police told her to get a ring camera and to report over.
Okay, sure you did. So basically, just have to make shit up. For those of you unfamiliar, she's talking about Asima Silva. So some guy who was convicted of child porn, I wrote about a while ago. He doesn't like me that fact that I wrote a blog showing that he had child porn downloaded at his house. He has decided to look into me, and he says he paid $175 to do a Freedom of Information Act request from the town of Holden. They pulled every time, and I covered this on the show the other day, so check it out. We won't relive it all, but every time that I called the police or someone called the police on me, they had a log of it. And for instance, in like October, I saw a missing dog, so I called the police and told them I saw a missing dog. So that was big news. But I also, apparently, in October, Asima Silva, who is on this the Wachusett School Committee, I found out that she might not live in Holden, that she might live in Hopkinton, which would disqualify her from being on the committee. So that's obviously newsworthy, and I'm going to investigate that. And so I went to her listed address in Holden, knocked on the door to see if anyone was home, and lo and behold, she was there. No one else was there. And I said, "Oh, do you guys like live here?" The house seemed deserted. And she's like, "My husband lives in Hopkinton. It's like, and her kids go to school there." It's like, so you don't live in Holden. I'm like, so what's going on here? And then that was the end of it. I just left. And then she apparently went to the police over that. And so that's like big news to them. So again, I loved the response from her when they asked her about, like, did you abuse the, like, about.
Yeah, they're moist.
Said, Kate, any comment on your third straight loss in criminal court? Your motion to dismiss was denied. Twister's music.
The loss
said,
would be getting convicted.
Blue bacon critiquing Patty Mayo.
Just her face. That face is price. How did they not turn the chat bot after that? Any comment on your third straight loss in court? No, there's no comment to be perfectly clear. But this one was my favorite. The "Do you regret fucking with?"
At quotes said, "Do you regret fucking with Lauren M?"
No,
Meatball said,
I bet you do. I bet you regret fucking with Lauren Murray. I couldn't write Lauren Murray in the chat. they've blacklisted the word Murray, so you can't write it on there. So I figured that out. I'm like, oh, so you have to write Lauren M for it to come up. Gotcha. So yeah, I bet she does. So that was too funny, man. She does not like that. Like, I hope she does it again. I hope you do it again, Crusty Panties, because we will have next time. I'm telling all Turtle Riders about it. We're gonna have some fun with it next time. Okay. Yeah, it was like, imagine being at that restaurant, like around these sea cows, and the chat, like somebody wrote in the chat, like, did you get your genital warts cream? And then blasts it. Like, people are trying, like, talk about having no respect for anyone. And their 360 camera got all the staff. I understand it's public, but they asked her, like, straight up, are you recording this? And they said, no, it's only recording us. It's like, just tell them the truth. Not everyone wants to be recorded when they go out to dinner. You have no right to do that. Like, it's a private institution, not a public one. So you've turned into Abrams, but at least Josh Abrams and these First Amendment auditors, at least they hold the camera up and they let you know you're being filmed, and they see if you have a problem with that. And they try to antagonize you. You lied about that like several times. Check out the video that I posted on YouTube on Saturday or Sunday, whatever that was. Check it out. Like, they lie to these people over and over again, and they get kicked out. Should we show Shannon again? Should we just show the whole fucking video? Let's just show my video. I'm going to just show the goddamn video. Who cares? We got time, right? We got time. They really didn't like this video when it came out. By the way, we just passed 25,200 subs. So good job. Thanks, folks.
Said, why won't you address Kate's boyfriend pulling a knife on her daughter Teresa?
Because that didn't happen.
Didn't it? Because it didn't happen. Meanwhile, here's the police report. He handed her a knife from the kitchen. Johnson, the boyfriend, held the handle of the blade, and she had her hand on the blade, and he was holding her hand there. The daughter stated that Johnson stated that if she did not let go of the handle, he could slide it while she held it, thus cutting her hand. Johnson was holding her hand to the blade in that he had cut her. But it never happened, she said, except, again, this is the difference between the people I expose and me, is I bring receipts. I get courthouse records. Like, it's undeniable right there. That's why you tapped out, because that's the police report right there. Are the police lying? Is that what you're saying? Are the police lying? Because that's what you'd have to be saying if this wasn't true.
Quotes. Said,
Dude, I took
did Kate leave the kiddos home with the child abusing boyfriend Andrew Johnson? Jackalope Master.
Look at her. Oh, man, her faces are priceless. Again, you're scared of me, he tells the girl.
Old Red Quotes said,
I mean,
have you told your supporters about your boyfriend being arrested for pulling a knife on your daughter?
When you turn
Darkly Noon said,
She pretended she didn't hear that one. Johnson was the principal aggressor. He was placed under arrest.
Old Brett Quotes said,
Old Brett Quotes.
Kate's boyfriend pulling a knife on her daughter Teresa.
Well, that's not really what happened.
Said,
it kind of was. 51A was filed by DCF, arrested and charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. He's still on probation. Oh, yeah, never mind that he did it again 3 months later, and your son is scared of him. But, yeah, he still lives in the house, by the way. He still lives.
Oh, that's what we should do.
Said
Go to
Kate,
Salem.
any comment on your motion to dismiss the charges against you being denied again? Clover Mom.
No,
Said Chili tries to
it's a process. She's still on top. She's still on top. How is she on top?
Aidan,
At Quotes said, do you regret fucking with Lauren M?
No,
Meatball said,
On mine?
Yeah, they're moist.
At Quotes said, Kate, any comment on your third straight loss in criminal court? Your motion to dismiss was denied. Twister's Music
Loss
said,
would be getting convicted. Huh?
Blue Bacon critiquing Patty Mayo bounty hunter last night. That's a little bit of.
They have the same frames. 89%. Did you find the jail with Brooklyn?
1% said, drunk drive bad.
Okay, so this is when they go to Chili's now. Or whatever, Applebee's, whatever.
All right. Hey, the camera's on, just letting you know. We're live.
For this side or that side?
Oh, yeah, this side.
Okay, that's good. Oh, yeah, no, I want to.
So you saw that? The bartender is like, are you filming? She's like, no, only on this side. And then this waitress realizes she's being filmed and tells the manager.
Oh, John Hanzo said it's because we're using your
The camera's on
Obama.
that side, right? You want to the camera is on that side.
I'm sorry?
So the recording is on that side, right?
Yeah.
The recording is-
Well, it records everything
all the way around.
but it's not. It's
Oh. Not the bartenders. They clearly don't want to be recorded.
So it's everything.
Yeah, we'll put it.
First of all, why are you even recording any of this to begin with? Like, what would make you think people are interested in this sort of content? At least I talk about something. Like who the fuck wants to watch you cows eat a bunch of frozen appetizers? Like, who would be interested in that?
Yeah, it's just our like experience. We're YouTubers. Is that okay? Okay, so it's not recording anything else that I know. No, not at all.
It's not recording anything.
The bartenders will come to
Yeah, look. Yeah, we my so
It's right there.
Is this guy gay? This guy's got to be gay, right?
Is that okay? Yeah, for sure we're not putting anybody else like that. No, it's just that side.
Yeah, imagine going to a restaurant and this happens. Like,
No, right here. Thank you.
look at this. Oh, there she goes, smashing apps. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. This is when they arrive. Like, look at this. Imagine, okay. Like, look at this look at these people right here. They brought in a whole freaking thing with like a projector that makes sounds. And these people are just trying to go out and have a nice little meal together. And these people show up and they're like, we're going to broadcast. You're freaking eating a meal together. We're not going to ask you if you want to be filmed. We haven't even told you you're being filmed. But we're just going to do it anyway. It's like a 360 camera too, so you can see everything.
Right.
This is what it looks like with no filter. A murderer babysitting. Yeah.
Johnny, ice cream. Okay, you can sit down. I'll stay.
Neil. Set for one out for serving your hat.
You want to grab that thing? Yeah, we'll grab the table. Thank you so much. We'll grab the table.
So they made the people move over for some reason.
Should we just go ask the chick across to see us then? No, we're just gonna sit at the table.
Yeah. We'll just go grab a couple drinks and dip out.
Crissy Sasquatch.
First of all, who the fuck goes for a couple drinks to Applebee's? Applebee's and their drinks, like, it's a chain restaurant, so they will all be rationed. Like, they can only put so much vodka. You know what I mean? It's like they're not real drinks. Nobody goes to Applebee's for drinks. You're in New York City. Go to a freaking bar. What, you go to freaking Apple? I mean, this is like when Michael Scott went to New York City. He wanted to get him a New York slice. He went to Sparrow's. This is like what trash does when they think they're like living the elegant life in the big city. Like, this is like trash on display.
Yeah.
Said, where did I put my anal wart cream?
Oh my God.
Pants rainbow. Said, hello. Yes, we would like to buy drinks for everyone in the bar.
Anal, like, look at them laugh. Like this is a big joke to them. Like, we said anal warts on our thing. Like, people don't think that's funny. You're trash. This is when they realize they're getting kicked out. And Shannon, by the way, she ordered like a couple big apps at the first restaurant. Then she got a couple more. Like, she's just like, I am going to town on this, baby. I'm going to have a good time. Let's see.
We're gonna get this like.
Yes, I want to do this more, please. No, thank you. Because I already know y'all are liking it.
Honestly, I do.
Oh, so here's some more footage of them at Applebee's. I think that's them. Is that the same footage? I think it's that. Okay. Oh, okay. So back to this. Oh, there we go. Oh. Get it. Yeah. Get it. Get that last bite in. Get it in. Get it in. Shove it down your gullet. There you go. There you go. Here we go. Here's some more footage. This is more footage from Applebee's. Okay. Man, they were having a great time. Look at her. They are having fun. Fun. What I order? What the heck? Yeah, what was with the bangs? What was with the bangs? It's not working. Like, dude, the filters should be illegal. Come on. Okay. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Just like that's a good. All right. All right. Anyone else have any questions they want to ask me? Fire away. Again, my contacts are not. I swear to God, my eyes get worse all the time, so I just need to get a new prescription because they're in. I'm just not seeing shit. Yeah, it's like microwaved apps. It's like, ugh, gross, disgusting. I mean, I'll go to. I'm not above a chain restaurant. Don't get me wrong. But you're in New York City. You can go wherever the fuck you want. That's the whole point of going to New York. Is like you can get some bomb pizza there, man. Some Italian food, whatever you want. The day that I would ever go to New York, go to a fucking Applebee's. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of calories. Aidan is part 6 about, yes, it's about both. That's all I got left in the part 6 is the part about Fucci's wife and her involvement in this and about how he exploited Jim Corsi's death. Worse with filters, Amanda or that's a good one, man. That is a tough one. It's got to be Amanda though. It's got to be Amanda. I mean, she's got literally 200 pounds on Shannon. I saw her the other day, Amanda. She kind of disappeared ever since Brett gave her the heave ho, so she's disappeared, but she's still as cunty as ever. No problem, Semolina. I appreciate that. Off topic, but thanks for Chef Mike update. It was actually very helpful. Oh, that's not off topic at all. We're back on topic for this. So if you guys have any questions, fire away. If not, we'll call it a night. Let me make sure I check the turtle chats. I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, we're good there on that end. The Julia Mejia case. I'm going to have a blog coming about that, about the emails that I've uncovered with that. There's not as much juicy stuff as I thought. I'll explain it all later. But I am being sued by a Boston city councilor because I asked questions about her alleged DUI cover-up. And I did find out there were emails from the Boston Globe in there too. So let's just say I wasn't the only reporter asking about that. But I'm the only one being sued. Weird. Was Crissy's court date today? It was supposed to be, but it was snowed out. So she got a reprieve. What court cases are coming up? So I have Krusty Panties has her date with Lauren, I think on March 10th. Her motion to dismiss was denied. I have her boyfriend who assaulted me, Andrew Johnson. I have his criminal complaint hearing coming up on March 15th. Crissy was supposed to go to court today for her trial, but that was delayed. Bill Rick had another huge failure today, huh? What else is new? Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Okay. So if last chance, if you guys have any questions, ask away. If not, we'll call it a night. That's what I'm saying, man. There's so much good food in that's what people go to New York City for, is the food. Like, you're gonna walk a lot. You burn a lot of calories, so you can eat at the restaurants, you know? Chef Mike used to say he's friends with good Veritek and his wife. Of course he did. Him with McGuire, J-Lo. Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah, the Bruins have had a tough trip, man. I mean, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. 3 games in 4 days in that part of the country. And Marchand was just talking shit about Edmonton in particular. And I think Seattle, as nobody wants to play there, he said on Twitter the other day. So good time to show up. Thank you, Semolina. I appreciate that. And thank you for the dono. All right. So anyway, I guess we'll call it a night, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the grifts, guys. Thank you for all the donos, even though it really upset Joni. She didn't like that, but I liked it. I'm not going to lie. So we will please go ahead and give us a like if you haven't done so already. I see 159. Maybe we can get that up to 200. We got 212 people still watching. So go ahead and like that. And please leave a comment afterwards. Share your thoughts on how you thought the show went. And we will see you all for the next episode of Turtleboy Live on Saturday night. Peace, Turtle Riders.